broadcast, we are told that there has been a blast outside the Russian embassy in Kabul. In fact, the Russian embassy targeted in Kabul was where the major blast really took place, and this was at the gate of the visa office. And we are also being told that 2 Russian diplomats have been killed. And in fact, there was intelligence that was shared a week ago. However, this blast has in fact taken place, and 2 Russian diplomats have also reportedly been killed because of this blast. Abhishek Char continues to be with me on the broadcast. Abhishek, more details, please.
So this blast has happened few hours from before, where it's believed to be a suicide attack, where somebody with a vest filled with explosive had, tried to kill people around the Russian embassy in Kabul. There has been this report has been that as is also told that the visa office, the blast has actually happened near the visa office, where people were gathered and several casualties are feared. So the exact number of people who've been killed in this incident has still not been clear, but there have been a lot of visuals which are very gory, and they clearly say how people and their explosion has damaged and how many people could have been dead there. There has been many injuries as well. Reports of some diplomats also being hurt in this blast is also from that scenario. There are the security forces from the Taliban ruled government. They have surrounded the area. They have stopped people from going there. The area has been cordoned off, and the investigation is still on whether a few more such bombers or attackers are still in the vicinity of this Russian embassy, or this was just one of the attacks. So the security is very tight in the surrounding of the blast site. The injured have been taken to the hospital, and more details on this issue is still awaited from the official sources of the Taliban government who are in charge of the security in that region.
Right, Abhishek, so you are saying clearly there are more people who possibly have gotten injured. We do not know about many more casualties that possibly we cannot ascertain at the moment because of the intensity of this blast. However, we also being told that there was an intelligence pertaining to the same thing that was given to the Taliban government a week ago. Do we know how come something was not able to be done about it?
In fact, there has been so many, splinters group of terrorists, major terrorist group who have been operating in and around Kabul in the past several weeks. So there is always an intelligence input about the security being, very tight in and around embassies. These are the embassy which we are currently talking in somewhere where the Taliban government is trying to ensure maximum security cover through its forces. However, still, there was intelligence report, and still the security were present there. But this attack, which looks like a suicide attack, the security cover could not stop that. And Russian embassy, which was not very much on the radar of terrorist organization in the past, because we have hardly ever seen Russians as being targeted in Afghanistan. This is one of the first cases probably where the Russian embassy has been targeted. We have always known that the European government, embassies from European government or the USA, they have always been on the target of various terrorist organizations in Afghanistan. But Russians, they were spared so far. But this time it looks like the Russians were on the target, and this suicide bombing which has happened near the Russian embassy has killed several people. Security arrangements have been tightened in that area. The guards are still on the ground. Investigations are on, and more details, the briefing on the issues that who all could have been behind this attack, and whether there are more people. This is something that we are still awaiting from.
Right, Abhishek. There are several reports that are claiming that the casualty figures could be more than 20 in this particular case, because this is a massive explosion that has rocked the Russian embassy in Kabul. Any word from the embassy? Because here we are talking about 2 Russian diplomats that we can ascertain that they have unfortunately been killed in the explosion. However, is there an official word about it?
I think, literally, Russians would be taking the pieces right now. Whatever has happened in this vicinity, with which they were least expecting, being Russians, never been on the target or the radar of terrorist organizations. So far, the news reports have claimed that 2 diplomats from Russia, they may have died in this blast. There are other reports of security guards on the gate having been killed in this explosive attack. Also, civilians who were present near this site. There has been casualties among civilians also there. But to be sure about this whole event, how it actually happened, we'll still have to wait for the official response from the Russian embassy and also from the Taliban government in Kabul, who will be able to tell us more in detail as to how did the security cover that was given to the embassies, including Russian embassy, was not sufficient enough, and how did this intruder or suicide bomber, creeped into that area and exploded himself where these casualties has happened.
Absolutely. Abhishek, thank you so much. I'd let you ascertain more details on this massive explosion that has been reported out of Kabul. This has taken place at the Russian embassy in Kabul. We do know that 2 Russian diplomats have been killed because of this blast. We are still waiting to understand the kind of casualties. That could be a lot more than just these 2. We are looking at possibly 20 people who have died because of this suicide bombing that took place at the Russian embassy in Kabul. Slipping into